Alright, Chapter 2, Season 5, just around the corner. I thought, screw it, I'm gonna make a theory video and just talk about, according to, me, and I do listen to a couple of YouTubers that, do this stuff, um, but, here's, my idea of it, and since my current editing software doesn't let me, put things on the screen that I want you guys to see, make sure you have a phone out and ready so that way you can Google anything that I'm going to say that you don't understand totally. Um, so, first of all, let's start at the very beginning. Best place to start. Chapter 1, Season 4 is the beginning to me. The, meteor came, struck, and that was about it. It was just a meteor, wasn't too bad. But out of that came the Visitor, one of the seven. And one of the seven, there was, so far we only know 3 of the 7. I don't think we're ever going to get any closure on it, but so far we only know 3 of the 7. The Visitors, the Scientist, and I can't remember the third one that we know so far. And then fast forward a little bit, and the Visitor rocket goes and tries to destroy Tilted Towers, but the Visitor hijacks it last second and guides it away using Rift Energy and sends it back up into space. And then fast forward a few more seasons, and the Ice King comes, and he wants the power of the Nexus Orb. Nexus Orb is also the 0 point thing that exploded. Yay! And so he kind of comes on the island and just says, "Hey, I want the 0 point." Other people want the 0 point because it's the source of power. He decides to form a crystal ball, and the entire map becomes ice. And then a couple seasons after that, the monster attacks in the Monster and Robot event. And, well, that's just that, really. The monster loses, but the 0 point is now exposed, and as the 0 point is exposed, it starts to crack in time. And as it cracks in time, it slowly starts to rip Fortnite's world and humanity out from under us as we know it. And it starts to become unstable, where Chapter 2, Season 10 comes in, with the very beginning of it, the Nexus Orb explodes, and you can see all these alternate timelines coming together, shaping and forming, and different timelines, different universes even, and we don't know why. Then the end event, Season 10, the Visitor comes back because the meteor is trying to destroy the 0 point. If the 0 point gets destroyed, all reality goes kaput. And it's gone. And then Fortnite isn't existed anymore. So instead what they decide to do is come together using Rift Energy and slowly make the meteor speed back up in time and try to hit the 0 point. Well, the 0 point isn't being hit though, because the force field around it is just too strong. So they decide. So one of them needs a comeback, not a comeback, but to be a hero and go in and break the shield. And I assumed that's the scientist that did it. So that's just the basic Chapter 1 stuff. I don't really get it. The Chapters 2 stuff is where it all gets interesting. Chapter 2, Season 1, we all come to a new island after the 0 point explodes and sucks everything in. The world it's a new world and new place entirely. We start off with Team of Alter, where people try to secure and locate and secure the 0 point. And Ego, a team of people trying to manipulate the 0 point energy into making it so it is not good for Fortnite world. The 0 point was never really located. It still hasn't been located today. There's 2 places it could possibly be. Under the Authority, now called the Ruins, or under the in the Redacted bunker. But let's step back a minute to the scientist. I said he was probably the one that plunged in because he had to be brave. But what happened to him after that? My personal theory, he came out as today as we know, Chaos Agent. He wants revenge because he got corrupted and he's stuck in this symbiote-like body. And he wants the 0 point destroyed because that's what did it to him. And through all of that, he just wants to be back to normal. So he tries and locates the 0 point and typically gets pretty close to it. He goes around recruiting everyone from Alter, sorry. Goes around recruiting people from Alter, trying to find and track down the people of Ego, and they fail. But no one really wins there. I assume there's actually a loading screen in Fortnite, the battle between 8Ball versus Scratch. And in that, Bushranger is watching and observing. And he doesn't really come in later, but like, he's there trying to see what's going on. Then I think that Scratch actually won. 8Ball lost, and that's why we saw Scratch get corrupted, because he couldn't, like, he killed his other self. After that, you can't really come back from it. And since he killed his other self, he needs to get a new, like, he needs help. So throughout all of this, he is trying to find a way to help. So he goes to Chaos Agent and tells about them and says, "Hey, we gotta do something about this." And Chaos Agent wants them because he thinks that they can help find the 0 point. And meanwhile, during this, I personally think Galactus is already coming. I know I'm bouncing around, sorry if you can't keep up, but you don't have to watch this video if you don't want. So Galactus is currently coming, I think, and then while this is happening, everything's just kind of like corrupting around them, and gotta hope it goes, like, gotta hope that they can, like, defeat Chaos Agent, otherwise they might never get out of this. Throughout all this, I also think that Chapter 2, Season 1 is a completely different universe from Chapter 1, Season 1. And I think this because the main reason is Kevolution Energy. We know from like Season 8, I think. Season 7 or Season 8. Kevin was destroyed. Kevin the Cube blew up and then took us into the in-between, which is the, like, halfway between universes. And the in-between, he let us unvault something, and that's where the vault is in the in-between. And so, just during Chapter 2, Season 1, Chaos Agent is just trying to, like, plan and plan and plan, with Kevolution Energy is his, like, main hideout point, and then also using Slurpy Swamp is a place to get sludges, which are pretty much henchmen. Got all this. After this, Chapter 2, Season 2 rolls out, and there's, like, no live event, which is really weird for Epic, but, you know, kind of lived with it. We're introduced to this team of spies here to, like, we're not totally sure what they were here to do. We still aren't, even though we're 2 seasons ahead of this. And Chaos Agent is still on the island. And so there's a team of many people, like Brutus, Meowscles, Midas, Sky, those people. But there's also Bush Ranger, the same person that was spying on 8-Ball and Scratch. Lynx, which was around since Season 7. And according to a screensaver loading screen from, like, whenever Lynx came out, so that's, like, Season 7, there was Meowscles on a loading screen. I don't know if I have it, but Meowscles was right there. Just a big television behind. We all thought at the point it was just a cat, because, well, Lynx is a cat. So, the spies have been on the island since, I'm guessing, day 1. But now they're kind of, like, coming out of the shadows. But as they decide to, like, come out and just, like, say, hey, we're here, you know, yada yada yada, some of them start getting corrupted and moving over to Shadow. And while they are kind of all, like, diverting, this was Midas's entire plan. The end of the event, Midas releases the Doomsday device. But back up, how could he have prepared the Doomsday device during the war between Ghost and Shadow? I think it was a diversion from Midas. Like, he knew that if he could make a diversion, he figured out that Fortnite's just one big simulation. So he tried to defy this simulation by the device event, end of Chapter 2, Season 2, with the storm being completely changed into a wall of water. And we teleported to the real world, where we met John Jones, and even a lot of stuff that points that the Save the World and Battle Royale storyline are connected. Like, there were Save the World pictures and Battle Royale pictures on John Jones's desk. And Let's Save the World. It's a side, like, storyline version of Fortnite. But they might be connected. I think they are. And we go back after you see him the first time, just talking about, like, how everything is not okay. The device has gone unstable and is defying the storm. We go back and we just see this wall of water around us, and the device starts to power down. After powering down, it instantly powers back up with the last boost of energy from what I'm guessing is the Nexus Orb, or a Zero Point. Which ties into the whole point that this season is the Nexus War. Because Galactus wants the Zero Point. And he's here. And there's no way that you're gonna not be able to get to him. And we don't know what we can do about it. But then back up to season 2 again. Sorry, I haven't done one of these in forever, so I'm kind of like a bit shaky on it. Don't know if I'm even gonna post this. Back to season 2. We get teleported after the device powers back up, and we go back and we hear John Jones's famous words. Can you hear me? And that just proves that he could see us, besides the fact that he freaked out when he saw us. But John Jones is, like, pretty much creation. And we never really knew. But finally, after the water decides to collapse 2 days later, we move on to Chapter 2, Season 3, where we are introduced to Jules, the engineer also from the previous season that helped Midas build the device. He had a photo of her on her desk, and we're also introduced to Kit, the son of Meowscles, and maybe even Ocean, the daughter of Brutus. Because in the trailer we see them fighting, but that doesn't really mean anything. But more importantly than all of this, we see Midas on a raft, stranded, get eaten by a shark. So he's dead. There's no way you can come back from being eaten by a shark. And after that, just think Midas' storyline is over, and Chapter 2, Season 3 doesn't really have much storyline to it. It's got a little bit where the water slowly starts to fade away, but after that it's fine. It's just not... It doesn't have much storyline. But next up after that, we just go straight in after seeing a crater in the ground, and a comic randomly appears in the thing. We see a crater with Mjolnir in it, and that's the start of Chapter 2, Season 4. And this is where we are today. Galactus is finally slowly approaching the island, and he's close now. Like, 7 days left till the live event. But we'll be streaming it. Go watch that. December 1st, starting at 1 o'clock, ending at like 2:30. But he's finally here, and the Thor decides Thor loses his memory once he gets here, because the island is strange, where he can't really remember anything, and he just resorts to everyone on the else's island of savagery and everyone trying to kill everyone. And we can tell that by he's a skin. And so is everyone else. They're forgetting, but they're kind of remembering here and there. And while this is all happening and like Galactus is getting closer, Stark's trying to build a bus, Fort Nightmares rolls around, Midas isn't dead, he's back from the dead somehow, and he brought an entire shadow army with him and can convert anyone who dies into a shadow. And the shadows are really similar to like season 7, season 8 area of the Shadow Stones, where people just, you ate it, it was like dark cube resin, and after you ate it, you'd become a shadow. So that kind of links up to Kevolution Energy, which is run by the Cube, Shadow Stones. But who runs Kevolution Energy? Chaos Agent. And Chaos Agent probably brought Midas back because he wants the 0 point. And he wants to have the 0 point exposed, otherwise he's not going to be able to get it, because he doesn't know where it is. But Galactus knows exactly where it is and exactly where to go in order to get it. So while they are all struggling to fight Galactus and get ready for that fight, Midas comes around and says, yeah, nope, screw you guys, I want my revenge, I died, I'm angry now. But finally, we defeat him. He's dead, he's gone forever, or so we thought, because now he's in the Last Laugh bundle. Which kind of hints us to next season having a DC-related event. Because why would they release a DC bundle in the middle of a Marvel season? Right around the end. I want it, but I cannot get it because I don't know why. It's not in the item shop. It never was for me. But why would they do that unless they're hinting that we're going to have a DC event next season? So I'm guessing probably when Galactus comes, and I think he's gonna win, because the black hole from Season X, that live event, it's back in the files, and some to be continued text is in the files. Also, like, a heavy mortar, which is pretty much also a minigun grenade launcher, is in the files, and that's probably what we're going to use against Galactus to hopefully try to beat him. Because Epic loves to involve everyone in their live events, and it's really cool. And we just don't know what's going to happen. Either we win or we lose. But if we win, DC is probably going to be the next problem, where it's probably going to be Marvel versus DC. But if Galactus loses, then it's going to be a Marvel and DC event, because we're going to need their help to try and defeat Galactus. So I don't know. Galactus is pretty angry, and he's pretty set on the 0 point, so if he's gonna try and beat it, if he's gonna try and win, he's gonna try as hard as he can. And Stark has been upgrading the battle bus, so hopefully it becomes, there's two things it's gonna be. It's either gonna be a nuke or a way to get out of the island, But then, where do we go after that? If we get Chapter 1 sees Chapter 1 island destroyed, Chapter 2 island destroyed, will we go back to Chapter 1 and somehow it isn't destroyed? Or are we going to get an entirely new map of Chapter 3? When only being on this one for not even an entire year yet. So, I just don't know. And none of us really do. But we just gotta hope that we're gonna win. Not only we're gonna win, but we're gonna be able to win quickly. Because the faster we can win, the sooner we can prepare for the next fight. But until then, see you guys on stream day